Hello, my name's Anna Baldwin. I am the wife of Corey Baldwin. He's the front changer for Kurt Busch, AJ Almendinger, and Todd Gilliland. I was just going to speak to you today about how God has a plan. So this past year, we know with COVID, things have not gone as planned. I know for myself, I built a house and that did not go as planned. Corey and I are trying to have children, and unfortunately we've had 2 miscarriages. That has not gone as planned. So that's what I'm going to speak on today. So we spend a lot of time thinking about what God has planned for us. It's a wonderful thing, but sometimes it can be very difficult to understand. But at the end of the day, we know that God cares about us, and He knows every little detail about us, including how many hairs we have on our head. So I have no doubt of His plan. So I just wanted to share a quick story with you about how I experienced God's plan. So as most of you know, I work on the ambulance in Mecklenburg County, so in Charlotte, so it's super busy. And the other day we ran a call for a cardiac arrest, and she was only 53 years old, which is very young. So when we got there, we ended up having to perform CPR on her, and we had to defibrillate her 4 times, which obviously is a lot. And her family members were there watching us and just didn't understand what was going on. And so after I speak to them and explain to them, you know, right now she doesn't have a heartbeat, she is not alive, but we are doing every single thing that we can. I just asked the family if I could pray with them. I do that very often on calls just because I feel that it needs to happen. And so I asked if I could pray with them, and I held their hands tightly and I said, you know, this is God's plan. We may not understand why we're going through this, but this is His plan, and we're going to follow Him and understand, and we're not going to question Him. So we continued to perform CPR, and we ended up getting ROSC, which is pulses back. So at that point she was alive, and it was time to go to the hospital. So we ended up transporting her, and I'll finish the rest of the story later of why I'm telling that. So I just wanted to read a Bible verse to you real quick. It's from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 through 13, and it states, "For I know I have the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then will call on me and come pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart, and I will be found by you." So a little bit later, I went back to the hospital for another patient, and I wanted to go check on this sweet lady that we resuscitated, and her family was there, and one of her family members pulled me to the side and said, you know, Anna, God does have a plan, and I want you to know that, you know, my family isn't followers of Jesus, and when you asked to pray, they came over and prayed with you. And she said, you know, that was the plan, to bring them closer to God. This may be the miracle that happens, that not only for the family, but also for the lady that had lost her heartbeat and now is living. So I ended up getting an email from them a couple days ago, and she's completely off the ventilator, walking, talking, can communicate just like you or I. So I just wanted to come to you today and say, you know, during tough situations, God wants us to know that He has a plan and a purpose, and we should never question those plans or that purpose. And when we follow His plans, we will use it to bless the world. And for those of us in the racing community, we know that things do not go as planned, and that's actually very often. But just know that we are one together no matter how the plans go. But the key is you have to seek Him during the good times and the bad times. So just remember as we go through this season that we are all one, and sometimes it may not go the way we want it to go, but that's okay. We should never question it. We should just keep following Him and living out His purpose and staying strong, and know that we're one together because He loves you and me. Have a good day, guys.
And all the world will praise Jesus. Worthy is the Lamb that your greatness.